Swipe Up, episode 220, the podcast where I share my unfiltered thoughts on the latest news and entertainment updates. I'm your host, Ray Taylor. A movie that came out during the holidays, a movie that was in response to the debate over whether or not Die Hard is a Christmas movie, which, in my opinion, it is definitely a Christmas movie. Maybe doesn't have the standard Christmas movie tropes, as it were, but it's a movie that has Christmas all over the place. Christmas in L.A., by the way, too, so that's why it's no snow, but it's a Christmas party. There's Christmas songs all throughout it. In many ways, I heard it recently compared to It's a Wonderful Life in a lot. I forget how it was compared, but very interesting comparison. But this holiday season, a movie called, what is this movie called? Violent Night came out, which I've heard good things. I've heard it's fun. I heard it's exciting. Heard it's very violent. Heard it takes place at night. I look forward to watching this movie whenever it's available on a streaming service, and I'm all for unconventional holiday movies, but this is a movie, I believe, starring David Harbour, who wants a Violent Night cinematic universe with Pedro Pascal as the Easter Bunny and Oscar Isaac as the Tooth Fairy. I'm all for it. I mean, if this is the road we're going down in film, in the movie industry, where everything is based on previous IPs, everything has a universe, why not use holidays that are, Christian holidays, maybe not Tooth Fairy, but Easter and Christmas, Christian holidays, which were really just repurposed pagan holidays. Why not repurpose these Christian holidays and use them for action movie fodder? I'm all for it. But David Harbour, I don't know if he was the director of Violent Night. Let me see here. Violent Night. I probably should have done this in my prep for the movie. It stars David Harbour, David Harbour. It is directed by Tommy Wirkola, with David Harbour, John Leguizamo. David Harbour, the cop from the Stranger Things franchise. He's great in that show, even though his storyline in the most recent Stranger Things is like, okay, well, they just clearly wanted him to survive. Totally down for it. I love that idea. Make a whole cinematic universe. I love Pedro Pascal, Oscar Isaac. I think them as the Tooth Fairy and Easter Bunny, great. The universe will inspire DreamWorks animators' Rise of the Guardians, which is interesting. Rise of the Guardians. The universe will be inspired by DreamWorks Animation's Rise of the Guardians. I think that was a Zack Snyder film about owls? Is that right? That doesn't seem... That's interesting. I don't know how that relates. It will feature live-action versions of beloved holiday characters as an Avengers-like team. Sweet. Let's do that, right? Whether it's the Avengers or whatever DC is doing now that James Gunn has taken over, or even what they're doing in India with the Brahmastra film series, where it's a very much a Avengers style team of superheroes. I'm all for it, especially considering this is like a violent action film, right? Let's take on and use and add some toxic masculinity into these beloved child characters. Let's do it. I love it still, like the Winnie the Pooh horror movie that came out. I think there was a Grinch horror movie that came out, like turning these beloved child franchises and IPs into adult horror films. I'm all for it. Let's do it. right? This is any kind of creativity we can get that we can wring out of this society that only cares about, repackaging nostalgia, right? Last week I talked about how the toy industry, like a quarter of the toy industry, is from adults buying toys for themselves, and how they're marketing stuff from the 70s and 80s to adults today, because they know the nostalgia sells. So I'm all for it. It'll be more violent than Rise of the Guardians. What is Rise of the Guardians? I swear it's that animated Rise of the Guardians. No, Hugh Jackman. What is this? Oh, wow. I guess so. This is like Rise of the Guardians, a DreamWorks movie. And it looks like when the evil spirit Pitch launches an assault on Earth, the immortal Guardians team up to protect the innocence of children all around the world. And it looks like Santa Claus is a character. It looks like there's an Easter Bunny and a Tooth Fairy. So I guess it's an animated series where these fictional characters... I've never heard of this. I thought it was the owl thing. Maybe I'll have to watch this Rise of the Guardians. I mean, it makes sense. Why not? Do a live-action version of that. Make it adult, super gory. Harbour's version of Santa Claus is grizzled and blood-soaked. The film Violent Night follows a team of elite mercenaries taking on a wealthy family hostage on Christmas Eve. Santa Claus fights back against the mercenaries. Violent Night is directed by Tommy Wirkola and written by Pat Casey and Josh Miller. The film also stars John Leguizamo, Beverly D'Angelo, Hassell, Alexis Louder, Edi Patterson, Gigandet, and André Eriksen. Don't know, Cool. I want to see this movie. I'm stoked for... That sounds like fun. I actually really want to check out this Rise of the Guardians movie. I wonder where that's playing. It's a DreamWorks animation, so I don't know what streaming stuff where that would be found. This movie came out in 2012, so a decade ago. Looks like a fun kids movie, The animation style is, I don't know, kind of like not as bad as like Polar Express, but the human character looks kind of like that, where everything else, a little bit more stylized. It looks interesting. Yeah. I'm down. Let's do it. It's, I'm so tired of things getting regurgitated, but if everything's just going to be regurgitated, if they can find a new way to regurgitate something, then I'm all for it. Right? Find a new way to regurgitate and find that happy medium to make me somehow excited about a movie franchise that I don't know how good it's going to be. I'm definitely down to watch Violent Night, though. It's one. I know it came out on Vudu for like video on demand. Like you could rent it. Maybe you could buy it too, but my money's not like that. People need to go buy more Ray Taylor Show merch or buy some of my artwork over at InspiredDisorder.com. And then I can start spending the big bucks and actually renting movies on video on demand. But yeah, super interesting to see what they do with that and see how that all shakes out.
New episodes of The Ray Taylor Show come out every single day. Subscribe on YouTube and everywhere our podcasts are found. Binge the full week over at InspiredDisorder.com/plus. Buy Ray Taylor Show merch over at InspiredDisorder.com. Have a wonderful day, everybody. Peace out!
Today is the day where you wake up and you realize that everything that you've been dreaming about, everything that you've been wanting, every goal and wish and hope that you've ever had can become real. Dreams can come true. What you manifest in your mind, you can bring to reality.